YouTube, what is going on, man? It's your boy Benji. Look, these NBA finals are underway, and we have plenty of hot takes going on Twitter right now. So I thought I would check it out, man. So we are back balling.
Tell your mans to chill. Yo, who mans is this? Somebody come get this.
Let's get it. This one says Luka plays no defense and an evaluation of game one. First of all, I remember a lot of y'all were sitting here talking about online about how Luka was such a stellar defensive stud last series, and it's so interesting to see how quickly the narratives have switched. Let's check this out right here. Switch, yes. Luka's been getting blown by like crazy individual coverages. Yep. And yes, he does do this. His controller dies a lot. Don't mind if we do. Next, you can watch. Here's another switch. Excuse me. What does that lead to? Poster. Jaylen Brown. Luka one-on-one right here. No hands, no feet, no rotation. Give up a layup and complain to somebody. How much he is utilized offensively, I understand why he's going to be a little more minimalist or minimalistically used on defense. But come on, guys, look at this, man. Switch again. Don't mind if we do. Blow by 2 points. Got Kleba out here. Switch it again with Luka. And if we're noticing a trend here, they're dragging Luka's guy out to get the switch with Luka playing defense. And that's a blow by that leads to Derek Wise foul. And then you're gonna argue that they can't guard Luka, sure, but I mean, if your whole team is getting off, I think you'll take that bet. And of course, a lot of discourse has been about how many people have been proud of Porzingis getting picked up from the Celtics. I don't think anyone thought that this was bad. I actually recall making a video talking about how the Celtics probably had one of the better off seasons, snatching up Porzingis, giving up your guard, who's a tweener. He's 6'4", but he's not really a 2. He's not really a 1. For a 7'3" shooter that can also block shots, and you can give it to him in offensive situations one-on-one. I think that's a W in any sense of the word. Yep. So my boy Shapiro here I'm sorry, dang it. Shapiro has had a lot to say when it comes to highlights. We'll check out some of his posts. All right, cool. So right up here. And he also mentioned here, I'm surprised how many people seem to be writing off the Mavs. I think Dallas only ran one double ball screen, which they typically loved, and no Spain pick and rolls. Well, how often Boston switching, they can run both more. We're going to have to see the development of Jason Kidd as a coach, because now we got a team willing to actually force them to make plays and make things happen. Cool. He said, notice something in game one. Celtics didn't play pure 5 out all the time. They mixed in some 4 out, 1 in. But instead of being a 5 in the dunker spot, it was a small. Yes, we did see Drew Holiday do a little bit of posting up, so we'll check out this clip right here. Which leads to a shooter. Anyone on the baseline will typically grant you this shot right here or a shooter. Now, why is it important that a small is out there? It's because it puts the big in a strange predicament. Because I think it's because you have the opportunity to go 5 out. I think that's what you're missing. How important that spacing is. That's a cutter. They can also space out and make plays here too. So it's not traditional big for the dump down dunk, but that would be the traditional play you would see from a big. The Celtics just making them work. I think they're better coached, and I think they have the better roster. Now, I don't think the Mavericks are out of it in any sense, but you know they've got to step up. They've got to play exceptional, and the Celtics do not have to play exceptional to win. Now, Lively has to monitor this. He also has to defend the rim. And now he's in like no man's land. Yeah, I told you. Literally. Right before that pops up. Yeah, so he's fouling. I think it's the same principle as a big man, but it just you offer the versatility of being able to start the offense with a guard. But position guards, those spot on strong side should help him protect the wasn't there. Yeah. So yeah, some good points being made there. Let's go back here. Man, this has been the craziest thing I've been seeing. A lot of people are upset about Tatum, man. What do y'all think? And also in comparison to
we'll take a look
at Kyrie Irving. I think that you guys are new to basketball because Kyrie Irving's play style, similar to Luka Doncic's play style, is a style that can yield you a lot of negative results because there isn't much offense that a guy like I thought we had this discussion years ago that Kyrie Irving will not enable you much offense that isn't one-on-one based or isn't with him not having the ball in his hands. He's not going to do much when we're talking about motion off the ball, coming off screens, pin downs, cutting, flaring. That's typically not going to be something that you're going to see primarily offensively coming from Kyrie Irving. You're going to see a lot of this one-on-one physical, exhausting exertion come from Kyrie. So you'll see what he can be. He can be spectacular, and he's crossing up people. He's doing creative finishes at the rim. He's stepping back. He's fading away, all that type of stuff. But he doesn't necessarily have a game that's completely easy to keep consistent. So you will see games and where Kyrie can just be lost out there because he has to. He doesn't have a game that necessarily yields itself easy points. Like he doesn't really have a game where I can get myself going and get myself a couple quick lay-ins. He's gonna have to do stuff like this where he has to work to get a layup. That's one of the few times you see it. So I think people are being surprised you've never watched Kyrie Irving play. He absolutely can be spectacular, but you know, he also has to be supreme. Jaylen Brown being compared to rookie Jaylen Brown is one of the most the insane development stories I've ever seen. He's legitimately bad at everything. Well, yeah, I mean, they draft guys like they're super athletic guys that had the potential or like the basis or the shoulder on their heads to get better with the idea that they will improve themselves down the line. So his lottery pick, he should have gotten better. Kyrie Irving fails to show up as the second option in Game 1 of the Finals, and you got people who want to talk about how he's better than Curry. Remember literally just a couple of days ago, y'all were talking about he was better than Curry? And you know, he was the best, most skilled guard ever. And I think semantics are important, so I will admit that Kyrie Irving is the most creative, I think, with the basketball. He can do a lot. But I think that yields itself to creativity. Because we got a lot of skilled players that came through. And then guys that, you know, if you want to argue that they do more in terms of defensively, and I think not having to show your whole bag is also a skill in itself. Wait, what? This is what he
Passed
said.
up on at least.
Okay.
Phil Jackson in the New York Knicks passed up on at least 4 dudes who are NBA ready now. You got Willie Cauley-Stein. You passed up on him. You got Justice Winslow, who I think is the steal of the draft. You passed up on him, okay? Stanley Roberts out of Arizona. You passed up on him. New York Knicks fans were at the Barclays Center booing because we recognize that we have been hoodwinked, bamboozled, led astray, run amok, and flat out deceived by Phil Jackson and the New York Knicks. Phil Jackson and the New York Knicks.
Well, I can definitely make the argument there that I mean, hindsight is a mug, boy. I mean, is Porzingis the player that we thought he was going to be? No. But he wasn't as bad as a lot of people thought he was going to be either. So, also, we talked a lot about, like I said, in comparison to Curry. Me being a Warriors fan, I'm quick to say that the Warriors should not have beat the Celtics a couple years ago in the playoffs, in the finals, but they did because this guy here is just another level. The Warriors offensively are another level, and they stepped it up big time defensively. The Celtics are great at choking as well, so that's important to note. Do the Mavericks have this in them? Y'all let me know. Celtics, I mean, at one point the Warriors series was 2-2. But here's what we're going to watch. The gravity that Stephen Curry has. All eyes on the ball. We got a shooter out here. This is what I was talking about when it comes to Kyrie Irving. I just drove down middle, dumped it off, but I have not stopped. Your job defensively is not done. You are not able to rest because I'm able to come off a screen and do this, which is not an easy shot, first of all. Come off a screen, snake it, pump, shot, bow. Literally put the team on my back. They were good, man. They were destroying these guys, and they were not, on paper. It should have been. But this is what I talk about. It's a different gravity. And I think a lot of times when we compare Stephen Curry and Kyrie Irving, it's just a different level here. He's getting scooped up a half court. You know what I mean? Which completely opens up the game. And honestly, Curry, you had this dime here to Draymond. But don't worry about it. Three is better than everybody. It changes everything. And it puts you in a strange position because here Marcus Smart cannot help. And this is what we've seen before, Draymond in the dunker spot. Interestingly enough, he had Porter cutting to the rim, which is also somebody who's a shooting threat. So it allows somebody like Kyrie to create. I think Curry has been, Curry. Kyrie has been having a little more trouble trying to create. Look at this space. They're able to play in the space. This is a wide open shot for Draymond, but let me get a better shot for Curry. Curry with his hand in his face is still a better shot than most people. Wide open. He was ready to shoot that. No, he was on another level. When everybody's so scared of you being able to shoot the ball. But here's the thing. We're going to touch on it in a second. And I'll let you know what I'm talking about. Why it's so important that numbers aren't as important as that y'all think they are. Let me show you what I'm talking about when I say that. But prior to me saying that, hold on. Something here I think that's important too that people are talking about. NBA Finals viewership. I mean, it's declined. I think not partially. Yes, I understand that you can find a commonality that Stephen Curry was not in the finals in some of these years that the viewership dropped. But I mean, Stephen Curry was in the finals here. I think. Well, these years were insane. I mean, it was bubble. It was a different time. I think it's more important that we understand that it's just a different time period, bro. Like once COVID came along, I think the world just became a different place. I mean, you have streaming services, you have highlight clips being made literally moments after the play. People can literally go on Instagram or Twitter, and you're going to be able to see some of the coolest highlights right after they happen. So you can kind of keep up with what's going on simply by just keeping your timeline open without you actually having to sit down and watch the game. I don't think the days are still here where everybody can sit around and gather around the fire and watch the game. I don't think that happens either. So there's that. I also had an argument with the Celtics that I do think the games are being unfairly refereed.
Jaylen Brown trying to fight over the screen, but ends up making contact with Luka pretty heavily. You can't do that. I don't know.
Jaylen Brown has been a perpetrator for making a lot of contact with the ball handlers.
On this one, even in the playoffs, this is a foul. And free 2 points because of it.
He's able to do that a lot. But Luka, you got to play better. It's the playoffs, so I can't. I think that is important both ways. The behavior we've been seeing about KYRIE, I mean, one, we could liken it to what they're saying in the WNBA. I mean, yes, some of these NBA players could step up and talk about how unfair it's been. Being in Boston, Massachusetts, and stomping out a blowout of a black athlete that played for y'all, that's kind of crazy. And starting a chant, I think that's insane. But it's funny that they said Jason Tatum got people put a stop to this because if you haven't seen that, we've been seeing the discourse being that Caitlin Clark has to be the savior for everybody. So whenever anybody's being in any type of negativity in the WNBA, where we're talking about physical contact, whether they're being reprimanded, whether they're not being considered for certain positions, Caitlin Clark has stepped in to be the voice. I find that to be insane, but that's gonna be another video. I've seen this too. This guy's been on it too. Bowser. The person that most at fault here is Kyrie Irving. They basically just talked about a play in here. You'll be able to see it. It's essentially Kyrie Irving not helping. So they're saying, oh, it's not Luka's fault. It's really Kyrie's. Basically, they're talking about making open shots because Kyrie isn't rotating in the manner they would like it to. Let me show you what they're talking about.
Yeah, congratulations, Rudy T.
Saying here, Kyrie's in no man's land where he should not be when they're zoning up. Who was that? Gaff, whatever. Daniel. Can't think of his name right now. He's motioning Kyrie to come up and take Porzingis. I don't believe that's what he's necessarily telling him to do, but sure. He helped. Here's kick out. Luka, you're the closest man to the ball. I also think Kyrie's in no man's land because the Celtics did a great job putting 5 shooters on the court, if you look. So Kyrie has to make a split-second decision. Do you guard Porzingis? No. If Kyrie jumps out and guard Porzingis, quick pass, he's wide open. Hauser. So, I mean, he's literally in the game to shoot the ball. This is the point of the offense. You're supposed to end up with certain shots. So I think that arguing that everything is Kyrie's fault is insane. And they talked about this is a better way to guard it. Comes from P.J. Washington. Because I guess he scrambled this, he dumped down, but I mean, I think that this is an obvious mismatch. I'd rather have Kyrie Irving guarding Jason Tatum on the perimeter than Kyrie Irving guarding Porzingis in the dunker spot. I think that is an obvious switch. Good call from P.J. Washington. I also do not think that is the same play that we just witnessed. But basically, this play was able to be broken up because it wasn't allowed an easy kick out. Not the same play. Yeah, I get that y'all are like excited about that, but it's like basic, But here's what I was talking about when I was talking about Curry earlier. So they say the Mavericks got a problem with Derrick Jones Jr. being out there and playing so many minutes because essentially he is a non-shooter, and the Celtics are forcing him to shoot. He came out and started off the game, made his first 3. Y'all know how I feel about allowing players to shoot open threes. I think that they'll be able to make it the more you give it to them. But you see here, he got an open three, and he clanked it. They're letting him shoot. So they don't care if Derrick Jones Jr. makes a shot. Why is that important? They're also seeing this. Whoever's guarding Derrick Jones Jr. is being able to rotate off of Derrick Jones Jr. See, Horford here is able to rotate off of him, and I'm able to help because I don't fear Derrick Jones Jr. shooting the ball, even if he is shooting pretty solid, right under 40%. But that's why I say percentages are deceiving. Curry has been shooting right under 40% the last couple seasons, and we also have to take into consideration the type of shots that Curry shoots and the type of defense that Curry receives. Stephen Curry is not sitting and catching and shooting. Let's say, for an example, Josh Green, you're getting helped off of. You help off of Curry like this, see what happens to you. And see how long, you remain in the game and how long you remain in the NBA. You help off Curry like that. Different calibers of players. If Josh Green and Derrick Jones Jr. both go 4 for 4 from 3, and the Celtics lose, you tip your hats to the Mavericks, because they will not do that again. Also, them both going 4 for 4 from 3 doesn't necessarily change much, because they're going to shoot the 4 threes anyways, mathematically speaking, and there's not really much of a variable with how many times they'll typically shoot these shots. Stephen Curry might shoot 15 3-pointers. And if you let Stephen Curry get hot, this game that is close can bust into a wide open lead because he'll knock down 10 threes. So I think that's why I say Curry gets guarded differently than anybody, regardless or not if he's hitting shots, because now having the freedom to be able to shoot, I think is a part of the game that a lot of people don't take into consideration. That's what I think made guys like Kobe so difficult to guard, because not only did he have a stellar one-on-one package, but he'll shoot any shot. Your job defensively does not finish. And so they're just talking about here being helped off of. You can never help off of Curry like this. You can never help off of Curry like this. This is why I say the Mavericks aren't built for who they have on the court. Green, solid playmaker, can have some solid games. Derrick Jones Jr. showed that he's better than perceived on the perimeter. I will live all day long with these two shooting 3-pointers, when on the other end of the court I have Horford, White, Brown, Tatum, and Porzingis. If y'all want to get into a shooting battle, I will take the Celtics all day long. And see, your only option here, solid offense, is dumping it down to the dunker spot, man. It's probably the most egregious example of ignoring Derrick Jones Jr. Horford leaves. Yeah. Because you can see, Derrick Jones Jr. is not even going to look at the rim to try and score. Yeah, it looks getting better on a couple of these. Derrick Jones Jr., strong side corner. Porzingis is willing to help off him and stop looking for scoring. This is literally basketball, guys. I mean, you play the numbers. While Derrick Jones Jr. might be shooting sub 40%, one, he's not inclined to take that three. If he's open and you start to close out on him, you'll more likely pump fake and go try to dunk the ball. And no one wants to jump with Derrick Jones Jr. So you also have to take that into consideration. If you chop your feet a little bit, put a hand up, he more likely won't shoot the ball. And if he does shoot the ball, he'll live with the percentages. What I say. He'll get most people in here with that much space that are solid shooters will shoot the ball. He won't shoot that. And now you put him in a position where he's doing dribble handoffs for Kyrie Irving to try to create something spectacular here. And Derrick Jones Jr. off a drop step, I think you'll at Porzingis with 7'2", 7'3". I'm cool with him challenging that versus Derrick Jones Jr. with a running start. But I think this is how most teams play defense. You can see here it was a foul, but this thing loads. A foul, but as you can see, yeah, maybe not. He's able to help off of Derrick Jones Jr. So not a bad take. Good breakdown here from Bowser. A non-shooter makes it harder for his teammate to ISO and exploit a mismatch. Absolutely. You can see, you saw the space that it was with Curry. Look at what Luka has to deal with, and he has heavy isolation offense. I don't know where you think you're going, because I'm not staying attached to Josh Green. I'm helping. Led to a challenge shot where otherwise Luka had a wide open layup if I have to guard Josh Green. So, let me know what y'all think, man. What can the Mavericks do better, and where do you think the Celtics can do better as we talk about heading into game number 3? And let me know what other hot takes we're seeing, man. Remember we were just talking about them being the best closers? Let's look at this.
Irving.
So, look at this lineup. Derrick Jones Jr. dunker spot, PJ Washington, Kleba, who has not hit a shot in the finals, and Kyrie Irving. Now this opens up a little more of an opportunity for Luka, and I think you're putting him in a comfortable position on the extended elbow, or right on the wing, where I can comfortably get you a high mid-range post up. And yeah, I mean, like I told you, you see in the NBA with anybody who can solidly shoot, you take your attention away, even one pass away, they're shooting the ball. Kyrie Irving is not getting that same look right now. Because our guys right now are banking on your other guys being able to knock down shots. Luka, the same thing. You see what I'm saying? Get a little bit of space to drive and kick for Luka. And Kyrie, completely different game. Yeah, let me know, man. What can both teams do better?